There we go. All right, there will be bourbon. Clay Martin's back. It's been a while, brother. Welcome.
Brother,
How
how
are
are
you?
you?
No, no, no. That's how are you?
Dude, I'm never better. I'm never better. Well, except for when I had to fill up my truck this morning with gas. That part sucked. But other than that, I'm
That,
great.
yeah, yes. Do you have diesel?
No, fortunately gasoline, but still it's
Okay.
doubled all here.
Yeah. It went up $2 since I left 2 weeks
That's
ago.
amazing. Yeah, it's good
It's
stuff.
not.
It's
It's
great.
not amazing. It's fucking awful. I got this 36-gallon tank too, which obviously I don't ever let it get down
Oh,
to empty because I'm not a woman, but still, you
right,
know,
right, right. Yeah, yeah, dude, I know the
20
feeling. I know
gallons
the
last
feeling.
weekend was over 100. So yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
time.
let's go ahead and kill myself right here at the gas pump. It'd be fantastic. Fucking amazing.
Someone brought up, you remember when we used to do the whole like put a Joe Biden sticker on the pump and say, he did that or something. Joe Biden did that at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Somebody did one where it was BB did that.
Yeah, yeah, right. No shit. Like,
Pretty good. All right, before we get going here, as always, tonight, well, today, whatever, the discussion will be fueled by America's native spirit. And this is actually something the last time I was coasting through the state of Ohio, or not, Idaho. I don't mean to insult you, man. Idaho, not Ohio. Idaho, I picked up there. So I'm just now getting through this after 5 years. This is the 12 chord, 12-year, or 3 chord, 12-year bourbon. It is from, well, it's a mix of stuff produced in Kentucky and Tennessee. I can't speak, so clearly I need to drink more. And then it is finished and bottled in the state that I will not call great because Jason Bacon lives there, Michigan. All right, there we go. So that's what I got. Clay, I know you are a non-participant in the drinking.
yeah, yeah, it's been shit 6 years now.
Six
And
years. Wow.
yeah, yeah. And it was a personal thing. For me, is I had a
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah.
So I needed to correct that. And that's fine. It's pretty well. My wife still gets down with the vodka a little, especially our native spirit here, which is Revolution vodka. Everybody's a
Revolution
big fan.
vodka. Okay.
Yeah. You got to come out and we have a
I
few things
do.
that are native to
I
Idaho
do.
too. And get you what do we have? We have Whistle Pig, which is I don't know that it's a classic bourbon. It's a whiskey.
It's a
It's
whiskey,
good.
yeah. And they got, I think
Yeah.
they're headquartered in Vermont still or somewhere up there. And they do
I,
a lot of production mixing in Idaho lately.
yeah, we got some local stuff though. It'd be a good tour actually.
No, I would love to get out there because now you're there, you're back there. I know Greg's somewhere out there.
Yeah,
Braxton's somewhere up
he was just
in.
in town. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
cool. That's good.
yeah.
So you've seen Greg.
I didn't get to see him. Unfortunately, one of his kids was in the hospital, so it was
Oh
not
shit.
like a
Okay.
fun trip. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
he was in
Okay.
town. I was at least I offered a place to stay if he needed it, but everything ended up
Yeah.
okay, and his kids are okay. So
That's good. But you're in Boise, huh?
I'm in Boise proper. Yes, yes, the
How's
metropolis.
that?
It has been so good to be back. It's
Oh, are
been
you from Idaho?
incredible, actually. I'm not. My wife is though. So
Oh,
we
okay.
lived here for 5 years, and then we left for about five, not by choice. And then now we're back. We just got back in October, and it's
Okay.
been incredible. The biggest thing I would say about it is the things that I kind of missed the first time. Because I was fresh from the Army. I was fresh
Yeah.
from Fayetteville, Vietnam, if you will. Like that's where I moved from.
Vietnam.
Right. So I was not I don't know, I was not in the state of mind that I am now. But
Yeah,
the
I bet.
the biggest thing that hits me as I come back is this is the second most high trust society that I've ever lived in. The first being Japan, which is probably the gold standard for
Yeah.
everywhere. Like the first week we're back, we're at like some big, regional fair type of thing. And I'm there and I see people like walking off with iPhones in their strollers, just leaving them, like all this crazy shit. I see my kids with like some teenagers on one of the things. I'm like, oh shit, do I go, stop somebody's feet? And it's like, no, 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 these kids are actually playing with them. My kids are little.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, it's like stepping back in time like 50 years. It's insane. And I appreciate that
Nice.
so much more now that it's wild. It's
That
a
is
lot to take
nice.
in.
Yeah, that's nice, man. I hope it stays that way because I know Greg is a little he's a little down on the immigration issue going on there in
We've
the
got
state. I don't know how much of it is just Boise, but I would imagine big city probably gets a lot of it.
well, I did get ruined by a Somali the other day, so
Oh, there you go.
there's fucking trade off. And honestly, the federal government has been doing this to Idaho and Boise specifically for a long time, even before I was here. We've had these like oversized for our population, like immigrant communities that have been like force fed to us. Like even going to the local mall here is like going to the Star Wars cantina. It's fucking wild. But yeah, so it is an issue, and this is something that they are actively trying to force on the states out west with smaller populations. Anyway, so yeah, it's there's some give and take.
Speaking of Somalis, did you see the Somali Chamber of Commerce endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy this morning?
That's amazing.
Isn't it?
What did he do to piss them off? Like, holy shit! Like that's Adolf Hitler has risen from the grave and endorsed you. Like, fuck, man, come
Yeah.
on,
Yeah,
come
there you
on.
go. So there it is. Vote for Vivek.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I love the state of
Oh my
Ohio.
God. Ex-
Nick's still out there. I've been trying to convince Nick to go run for governor, but apparently we're just gonna have to settle for Vivek.
It's so amazing.
Whatever.
What a time! What
Um,
a time to be alive.
yeah. Speaking of which, yeah, I was going to say, it seems like every time you pop in here, the world is a very different place. Like I said before we started recording, the last time was shortly after the second assassination attempt on President Trump. And now, a month ago, we were not at war with Iran. 10 days ago, Joe Kent was still, our buddy, was still the director of the National Counter Terrorism Center. And now, here we are. It's March 27th. How you feeling, man?
I, all you can really do is laugh. It's funny. It's an especially important chat to have with another veteran. As in the private like veteran groups and shit, I think all of us are at this point of like, I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Like
Yep.
I'm dumbfounded by what is going on right now. And I mean, it's just every day it's a lot to take in. But first of all, I can't believe that we're at war with Iran over completely idiotic reasons. People like to, and man, you were in the same thing. We all did the same
Yep.
shit. People like to, oh, we're paying them back for the IED. Like, I've said this a couple times in public here recently. Like, am I going to be mad about that? Like, what would I do if China invaded Mexico and I happen to have a machine gun factory in San Diego? You know, how, how would I respond? I would respond exactly the same way they did. It doesn't mean I forgive it. Doesn't mean I think Iran's our best buddy or anything. But like, I can see why they were opposed to us taking over Iraq. I get it, and I would have tried to bleed us out too. But in my opinion, especially for the last decade, Iran has not really been a thorn in our side. We've had other problems to do. ISIS, remember that whole
Yeah.
fucking fun thing?
Yeah.
That was a problem that was not Iran. Um, in my opinion, for the most part, Iran has been very stable. They did what they needed to do. They basically took over Iraq, and Iraq's like a proxy state for them now. Okay, that was a predictable fucking outcome. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But for
Saddam
the most,
miscalculated in the 80s for sure.
oh well, we miscalculated when we
Well, yeah.
deposed Saddam. Like, oh fuck, yeah. This was going to go one of like three ways. It was either going to be split off and be half Sunni, half Shia because the population was so
Yeah.
big. It was to become a Sunni proxy force for fuck, I don't know, nobody was strong enough, or it was going to become an Iranian proxy force because of the again that large Shia population. That's effectively what happened. But as far as like big boy stuff goes, like everything was fine. All right, nobody was fucking with the Straits of Hormuz. All right, energy was flowing, money was flowing. Uh, Iran wasn't exactly coming over here and fucking with us. Really, I can't think of a single example really where they were screwing with our interests in the region, to be perfectly honest. Um, so yeah, so to me, it looks like we took a stable situation and we just pulled the rug out like a bunch of dumbasses. And I mean, even going back to last summer when we did the strike on their nuclear facility, I at home with no security clearance and whatever was like, ooh, that was bad. They launched a couple missiles at some bases, hit nothing, and we're like, okay, that was the best possible outcome that we could have had. Like, okay, we blew up your nuke shit,
Mhm.
region stable. Let's just kind of forget that we smacked you in the mouth, and they did, and move on. Now we're in this complete clusterfuck that I can't even fathom for absolutely no reason.
So, I don't think anyone who really watches this probably doesn't already know who you are, your background, but you retired from the army, you were a Green Beret.
Yep,
Um,
yep.
what was your group like? Was your specialty the Middle East, like in terms of language and all, or?
It was. I'm an Arabic
Okay.
speaker. I was an
Okay.
18 Fox. I was an intelligence guy on the team. I was in third group, who should theoretically have an Africa region centric, but in my time, that meant
Yeah.
we were fucking worried about the Middle East.
So I am curious because obviously I respect exactly what you're saying and I share a lot of your same concerns. But when you were back in or when you first came in, because I know you spent a ton of time deployed,
Yep.
how much focus was Iran in terms of just? okay, we also got to pay attention to them, or was it always just you were focused on Iraq, wherever at the time?
It was a bit of both, and it was mostly because during the war, all right, I will very much be upfront about Iran was backing all the Shia proxies,
Yeah.
big time. And that was not only material support of weapons and bombs and shit. Mukhtar al-Sadr, who was basically the
Mhm.
leader of the Shia resistance, I would
Yeah.
drive past my fire base in southern Iraq to go to Iran every month, like clockwork, to get
Yeah.
new marching orders and come back.
Yeah.
I know for a fact he had like legitimate Iranian bodyguards that were his like close knit circle that were also making sure that he did what the fuck he was told and
Yeah.
keeping him safe. So there was a huge hand of Iran in that whole conflict. All right, nobody's denying that in the slightest.
So would you say that it was just like, all right, we don't have time to worry about him and well, I remember Solder, everything, but we don't have time to
Yeah,
worry about Iran right now because it's just too much of a problem. We have to really focus on, at the time it was Afghanistan and then Iraq, and
right.
it just kind of Iraq ended in what, 15 years ago, and then we just doubled
Yeah,
down on Afghan stupidity. But
right. I don't even think it
so
was
you
so
were
much
never
about
really you guys specifically were never really concerned with Iran.
not about like going really hot, not about them like
Yeah.
sending tanks across the border, some crazy
Yeah.
shit like that. We knew that they weren't going to do that because it would not be in their interest either to play a game that we are particularly good at, especially if we
Yeah.
have all of Iraq as a staging base. Like, oh,
Yeah. I
awesome,
mean,
sweet,
I've
thank
always
you.
joked we've had them surrounded for 20 years, but
Right?
it's
No,
true.
it's exactly right.
Yeah.
It's almost more like we decided to play a Cold War game like we did against the Russians of like we'll send a little bit of manpower, but we'll use Africans as proxies for our fights, or
Yeah.
back then even Middle Easterners or Southeast Asia. We'll use these as proxy fights, so that we're not drawing this into something bigger. That's how I feel like from a strategic perspective we always looked at it.
So what do you think is like, because I don't think people realize like Iran, and then Joe said this, I think, with Tucker, but
Yep,
Iran is a very large country. It's been around
yep,
forever. They're
yep.
not going anywhere.
Right,
Um, and it's just like geographically, I mean, that's not Iraq.
right, yeah, right. Yeah. That marching third ID, online
Yeah,
across the country, like, hey, I can see the tanks on the
yeah.
other formation. That's great.
So, and that's what I don't know because I think, just like you, I'm kind of just sitting here like, I don't know, like what would Clay do if he's having to actually, I mean, I don't even know how to phrase it because I don't know what the actual objective is. Like, are we gonna go seize the oil on Kyrgyz Island, or do we want regime change like Israel apparently does?
Good
Like what
question.
like what are we supposed to be actually? What do you think we should be doing? I mean, we're already in, right?
Fuck.
So, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
do we get out,
I think,
or how do we do either one? How do
oh
like,
man.
because my biggest thing is like, I'm cool with the Operation Midnight Hammer last summer. I'm cool with
Yeah,
that.
that's great.
With,
Yeah. It was amazing, actually. If you want to talk about it from
yeah,
like a tackle, like, holy shit, I can't believe we could pull that off. It's amazing.
yeah. And then we follow that up with the Maduro raid in January.
Yeah, which is great. Yeah.
Um, I just I have a problem. Like, maybe this is just because I'm just older now and I'm not,
Right.
21-year-old me who's like, yeah, wherever the fuck you want to go, let's go.
Right. Can
I'm
we
worried
still do
about that
CrossFit
guy.
there? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
worried
Oh,
about
yeah.
that.
Me too.
I'm worried about that 18, 19-year-old kid. Like,
Yeah.
why do we want to put that person on the ground? And do you think
Well,
that's
and
what we're actually going to do?
I think there's a distinct possibility. I think you have to back this up like one more step from that, even. I am not anti-war in the fucking slightest.
Oh, I know. I know.
No, I mean,
You also
I
have the
encourage.
benefit of knowledge, like real actual.
Right. Yeah. No. When I understand that, 20, 25-year-old guy that really wants this fucking CIB and like do
Yeah.
some shit and have some, I would be all about this even if we were going up against cartels in Mexico, limit
Mhm.
scale raise or fucking full invasion. I don't
Yeah.
give a fuck. Uh,
Yeah.
if
At
we
least
wanted to
that's
go for,
here and affects us
yeah, no,
very
exactly.
different.
Yeah. If we wanted to do this for some kind of moral reason, you want to go fight, Boko Haram because they're massacring Christians and okay, fucking
Yeah,
all in.
I'm
I'm
down for
down.
that.
And 20-year-old dudes, Americans, are willing to fucking die and get their legs blown off for that. They're that fucking guy. That's what we built them for.
Yeah.
And to me, that's a valid use of our nation's blood and treasure. What are we doing in Iran? I have no fucking idea, man.
Mhm.
Same boat as you. Like all we have managed to do right now, I think, is make ourselves look like fucking complete idiots. It does feel like we thought we could get a soft regime change just by decapitation strikes, the Iranians were going to rise up and have a revolt, and we were going to, be home by Sunday. That's not what has happened, as everybody can obviously fucking tell.
Yeah.
I feel like we drastically underestimated maybe national cohesiveness, their resiliency in the face of what we can do. And the problem, if we get out right now, is we look like complete fucking idiots. We
Yeah.
have damaged our regional power in a way that is difficult to oversee. Even if you back up and say that we're winning the strategic war, and we actually are doing all this damage, it doesn't change the fact that everybody in the Middle East sees drones hitting their own refineries. They see that
Yeah.
nothing has moved to the Straits of Hormuz. We are definitely losing the messaging war. This Iranian propaganda, bro, has been top notch. I mean, I think that's something we all had to admit to ourselves. You watch these fucking Lego movies and
The
shit?
Lego movie. I saw one this
Dude,
morning.
they're awesome. They're fucking awesome. This is high quality work.
And
Like,
meanwhile, we're doing pixelated posts on the official account, but whatever.
right. Also, I know I've got buddies in psyops that are like suicidal right now, seeing the propaganda come out of Iran. They're like, these guys they're fucking amazing. They're so
Yeah.
fucking great. And it's not only good, but it is convincing. I mean, what are you supposed to say to their little Lego guy drawing? This is for the victims of Epstein Island on the side of a fucking missile. Like,
Yeah.
fuck, man, you're kind of right, bro. I fuck, I hate to admit it, but this is where we're at. It's painful.
Yeah. Well, so let me ask then, because we do have it seems to be like there is a fair amount of cohesiveness amongst the Gulf Coast states there. Like they are
Yep.
very not happy with what Iran
Yep.
is doing, right? So let
Here's
me
the
let me put it
here's
this
the
way. All right.
problem.
How tell me how like Iran still can shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Like that's where I'm kind of
Oh
that's
fuck.
where I'm
Okay.
kind of like I
Oh, well, no, I've actually got perfect insight into this.
okay.
Uh, One, it doesn't matter how mad the Gulf states get because they can't fight for shit. All right,
Right. Well, I
those
know that.
motherfuckers
Yeah.
are useless. All right, Iran, like having those guys as fucking allies is like having like not even the strong retarded, like the small retarded kids from down the fucking street help you. All right, and they know Iran will push their fucking shit in, as well as we took all of our air defenses from those guys and gave it back to the Israelis. So we just left them fucking high and dry too, which is not helping moods. But
Yeah.
as far as like how the Straits of Hormuz get shut down, I'm not going to pretend for a second to be a naval strategist because I'm not. I'm some fucking retard. But I've been through the Straits of Hormuz like 5 times myself
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
on a U.S. Navy ARG ship, and it was so fucking. It's something that's hard to imagine unless you've been there. Like how tight that strait is. And half the reason that I've been there is they used to actually put the snipers and shit up on the tops of the fucking ship because in addition to all the shit that we have going on, like you pass into the Navy ship, you're gonna have helicopters and fighter jets and ACWACS and all the Navy's like big, 25 millimeter guns, all this crazy shit. But the water is so choppy and the waves are so big, they
Okay.
would put snipers up there too because you can't see everything. And even one of the times that I was going through, they snuck like a small, like effectively like a bass boat to within a half a mile of us, I hidden in these cresting fucking gigantic
Waves.
waves.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, there was like
That's
a big
wild.
deal. And it turned out they were just doing a probing thing, and so we didn't get to shoot them. And there was a big, dick
Yeah.
flexing fucking conflict. But that strait is so fucking tight that it is extremely difficult to control without just an ungodly amount of assets. And the fact that Iran can strike not just little boats and stuff, it was like shore-based artillery and missiles, all right, which
Yeah.
is again hidden in some like hills and shit that come up off the beach pretty quickly. It's an extremely tight strait and very easy to shut down if you're land-based power, and very hard to take back if you're, I don't know, some idiots with ships.
So is there any alternative to that location at all?
To get things out of the Middle East, yeah, there is. About 20 years ago, we could have started building a pipeline uh, across, across Jordan and Western Iraq. That would have been amazing. Yeah,
That
probably
seems like that would have been a good project
yeah,
for
that would have been
ABR,
great. Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Right. Maybe instead of having taco night, we should have done it. And you could actually, if you built the right cohesive fucking type of unit, you could actually run it into Israel and use their ports to get it out. You could do the same thing up to the Caspian Sea if you were, I don't know, tight with the Russians and not giving Ukraine missiles to blow their shit up. You could build one even faster up there, and then yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, so there are alternatives.
And So how much, I don't know if you know this. This may be a question for Deb. He's an oil guy, but I
Yeah,
don't know, maybe you
yeah.
know. How much reliance on Middle Eastern oil do we still have? And
Okay.
is Venezuela's
Yeah.
production enough to do anything at this point besides
This is
Benzema?
actually this is a much better question for Dim because you start running the
Yeah.
intricacies also of like the type of oil that comes out of Saudi or Iraq. Does it have to be refined in a certain place? And a
Right.
lot of that
Yeah.
is true. It
Yeah.
has to be refined on the Gulf Coast because you need a certain type of refinery to do it. The problem though is not that we're dependent on it; it's the rest of the world is. That's why
Right.
Asia's in this fuel crisis already right now. It has
Yeah.
we'll be fine here, but that does bring up another question. So if you look at the fertilizer shortage, the fuel shortage, all this shit going to Southeast Asia, and actually, honestly, the rest of the world. You have Europe that now is putting on some chapstick because they're about to have to suck Russia's dick for some liquid natural gas, which they were going to embargo yesterday, and then they also blew up Nord Stream. That was fucking brilliant. So even after they finish
That.
the cock and
Yeah.
balls, what they can actually get is going to be limited. What I see this as is we have effectively pissed off the entire fucking world. All right, because we're fine. North America with our oil and our fucking food supply and this shit, we're okay. It's everybody else that pays the consequences of this, and it's literally everyone else in the fucking world.
All right. So, all right. Again, it's going on already. We're already there. We're already doing this.
Yep.
What's Clay doing next?
Oh fuck, man. I don't know how you off ramp this to be totally honest. I really don't. Because no matter what you if you just off ramp it right now, you've lost prestige. Like you've lost, I mean, decades of reputation built. We look like complete fucking idiots. But I would still rather that than accelerate this. Your other options are, land some Marines and paratroopers and try to take these fucking islands and hope that then you can also keep the missiles at bay as strategic depth from Iran. I think you're talking about a big lift there. Um, that's a real fucking problem. I would rather us lose the prestige than do that. I don't think
Yeah,
that's a winning solution.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah,
Rep can be rebuilt way much quicker than
right.
you know.
Yeah.
'Cause I mean, I said like, look, everyone's like, oh wow, they're pushing over the the brigade from the 82nd. I'm like, do we really want to see jumpy boys getting hit by drones trying to jump into an island? Like, are we ready for
Yeah.
like
Yo, that's a fucking,
that's
yeah.
that's 20 seconds of just pure like you're
Well,
exposed as it gets. And I don't know about I don't do Halo shit like you did,
yeah.
but I mean, I don't know if that's what they would do. But
There's not enough of them. I mean,
yeah,
you could
right.
take everybody that's got fucking Halo qual and drop on that, and it's not enough. The bigger problem with the jumpy boys is how much does the fucking airplane have to slow down that transport craft before it gets over the
Uh,
drop zone? It's got to be down to 110, 120 knots.
right.
You start
Yeah.
ramming those full of Shaheed drones, like you've got a real fucking mass casualty
It's
right now.
and then I don't know. I just try to like actually think about this from like some sort of a strategic perspective. It's like, have when's the last time we trained on seizing a fucking island?
Oh shit.
I mean, like, I don't know where we would even pull that off. It doesn't exactly seem like NTC. Um,
To my knowledge, it would be the Marines before we got big in Iraq, when it was still thought that we might have to seize like the coastline of Basra. So we're talking build
okay.
up like 2001, 2002, specifically for the Marine Corps, their amphibious traction bullshit to do a forced landing. And I don't know if they've gotten back to that in the time that I've been retired, but it's not a small deal.
And I was gonna say that institutional knowledge most likely has left with the people who retired.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, the last time we did it for real, one small time in Vietnam, before that, Korea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's cool.
Which is also probably like, I mean, I mean, that's why I go back. Like, Iran has a lot of technology I don't think people realize, and they're
Oh,
seeing it.
yeah, they've done
But they're in
amazingly
terms
well.
of like a land force, they don't really have a lot of game-winning experience since the time with
Yeah,
Iraq in the 80s, which didn't go very well for either of them.
yeah, that's true. But they are also, as I like to say, they are not Arabs. You know, I don't doubt that our guys are fucking better by orders of magnitude, but they are not fucking Arabs, and they are a lot of them. So
Yeah, it is a big place. I don't know. I go back to what you made the point about the strategic messaging and the messaging in general, how we're losing that. We're not doing a really good job, I think, of getting buy-in, right? And I don't know how much buy-in there is. Like I get it, the polls get trotted out that 100%
Right.
of MAGA's on board, and I
Yeah,
don't.
it's
Yeah, that's great.
fucking
Well,
amazing, isn't
I,
it?
I don't know, but okay, fine. Let's just exclude that from the sample size. How about the rest of the fucking country, right?
Right.
Um, because like I said, like you drop a few airstrikes, strategic stuff, knock out some shit. That's
Yeah,
cool.
okay. Yeah.
But I
Yeah. Yeah.
mean, I don't know. It's just I've always said, and I've said for a very long time, like even when we were talking about Venezuela a few months ago, it's like, you know what? You end up deploying us there, like, hey, same time zone, good scenery.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Get some
Most people
tacos and a
can
beer.
speak enough
Like, yeah,
Spanish
we're
to get
down.
by, but I don't know anyone who really
Yeah.
knows Farsi outside of the fucking Green Berets. I don't know.
No, no shit. No shit. No, it's absolutely fucking true. But I think this leads us back, if we're being totally honest, to the elephant in the room. And this was honest. This was the biggest shock from Joe Kent's resignation letter that I took.
Yeah.
Actually coming out with like, hey, Israel pushed us into this fucking war for their own benefit. And that's what happened. It's the pro-Israel lobby in the US government that has put us here. And nothing about this is good for us. And I think that's what people are waking up to. And I think that's reality too. Like, I have a lot of respect for Joe.
Yeah.
For somebody like, it's one thing also for me, retard in this fucking garage, be like, "Ah,
Yeah.
fucking the pro." For the guy that was that
Man in
is
the
fucking
arena. Man in
yeah,
the arena. Yeah.
fucking Johnny fucking war hero, done every spooky thing you can think of for this fucking country. He's had like a beyond TSSCI for the last 25 years, and was the director of the National Counter Terrorism Center. For him to come out with this, and also to somewhat flip positions from the ways that he was even like 3 4 years ago, to like, holy, that tells me that he saw something. All right, this is
Oh
not
yeah.
political
Yeah.
and like
Yep.
I'm going to undermine Trump. This is more like, holy fuck, something has come to my attention that I must address, and it's this. That's a big shock to the system, and I think he's right.
And that's where I'm glad you transitioned us there perfectly. So again, you've known Joe probably longer than I, but I know we've all known him and been in the same chats forever for probably
Yep.
6 7 years at this point. But
Yep.
yeah, because I share a lot of Joe's sentiments when it comes to the president. Like he doesn't have a bad word to say about the guy, which
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
he's
Absolutely. Yeah.
literally, in my opinion, he's doing what you said. He saw something, so he felt like this was the only way to get the attention to it.
Right. Right.
So I guess that would be my question. Like I said, 10 days ago, I woke up in another side of the planet. And I was like, what is that? Is that fuck 84 million plus views later? Like, holy shit, everyone knows who the fuck Joe Ken is now. Um,
Yeah.
and then it seemed like almost, and Joe's called it out, and everyone
Yeah.
else probably knows it's pretty predictable, the response. It's unfortunate, but it is, like he said, comes with the territory. But I know you were very supportive of it. I saw as much as I could from where I was at. But what was your first take when you first saw that? Like you were Joe's
Shock.
Joe's
Yeah.
Joe's resigning. Yeah, right.
Shock one, and then relief two. Because he's calling out these things that I think a lot of us, more of us fringe kind of characters have seen
Yeah.
for quite some time. But it's also harder to quantify when you don't have access to, classified information anymore. You're
Right.
just kind of
Exactly. Yeah.
you're kind of trying to pull pieces together off of open source intelligence or
Yeah.
patterns that you see. Uh, for him to come out with the way that he did is, I mean, again, it's an absolute shock to the system, and it's relief also that tells you that at least somebody is seeing this. And I think this is actually the more important point. Somebody is capable of changing their preconceived opinions or their pre-biases in the face of new information to act in a different way. And I think that's hugely important.
Yeah, I want to go on to that because not to switch to a completely irrelevant topic like sports, but Colin Cowherd is the only guy I've ever listened to for the last 25 years, and he always
Yeah,
says, if you don't have a new opinion in the face of new information, then you're just a sucker,
right.
right?
Yeah,
So,
it's absolutely fucking right. No, it's absolutely a perfect
and that's
analogy. Yeah.
sports. So let's go with real world shit where it matters. You said a few minutes ago something about Joe had a different opinion maybe 3 to 4 years ago. Like
Yeah.
what's the difference you see now versus then?
You can go back and this is also a thing where I know Joe well enough to know that he's not a liar, and he's
Right.
not putting on a different face to the public than what he holds in private.
Right.
He's just not that kind of guy. Or he
I
also
agree.
wouldn't have run in fucking Portland as a Republican if he was going to be that fucking dude. But you can see going, just a few years back, like very non-critical of the Israeli influence on our government, if you
Yep.
will. And in fact, to some degree, very somewhat supportive of it. Not like, Randy Fine from Florida supportive of it, but pretty supportive of it. And this is also something you see in most fucking army dudes, especially that worked in that fucking region. And fuck, man, you know this too. Well, you certainly see this at like the Fort Braggs of the world. They're Mossad dudes there all the fucking time. All right. And openly as Mossad, like we're doing this with our Israeli counterparts and all this fucking always they're our best friend in the region, they're our fucking besties, all this bullshit. Even the way it, like infects law of land warfare for us is like young guys and basic training and shit. Like do not obey a Holocaust order, all this fucking crazy shit. All right. It's always there's so much in the military. Israel is our friend fucking influence that it makes it actually very hard to see past. Most of us, I would say, carry somewhat of a brainwashing of a bias towards Israel is good coming out of our military services. And I don't know how long it's been like that, but it was certainly that way for the last 25
As
years.
long as I know.
My time of service.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, that was almost like the country that was like above reproach. Like, well, don't even ask any fucking questions.
Yep. Only democracy in the Middle East.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're doing great shit. They would never do something to fuck us. Like, oh,
Um, so yeah, okay, say what it is. I mean,
okay, yeah.
um,
Well, this is the other funny thing about when Kent came out. Kent said a lot of things about the nation state of Israel. He said
yeah,
zero things about the Jewish people.
exactly.
But immediately what happened was he's the anti-Semite of the fucking decade. That was what they came at him with. All right.
Is that an
And this
award, you
is,
think?
yeah,
This
I think it probably is. Yeah. So it's fucking certainly going to be. Probably comes with a death sentence,
fucking
actually.
Nick
But
Fuentes award.
exactly. And the same thing's been done to Tucker Carlson, actually. Same thing. He's never said word one about Jews. He has said a lot of things about Israelis. This is a deliberate thing that their intelligence services do, as well as their propaganda arms, obfuscate those two things. All right, because they are different things. They're supposed to be different things. They're different things when it's convenient. All right, they're the same thing when it's inconvenient. So that's been very telling too. Like, they have not come at him with facts and figures. Like, no, he's just a dirty anti-Semite, fucking probably got a Waffen SS uniform in his fucking closet. This is he's a bad guy now. This is something that we do need to face as a people, as American people. Like, hold on, those can be two very, very, very different things. And this current like nation state of Israel does not have our best interest in fucking mind, obviously. You got Mike Huckabee having a fucking sit down meeting with a guy who stole our nuclear secrets and then was welcomed in Israel as a fucking hero. This is not a first for this kind of thing either. Israel has done assloads of espionage that we know of. All right, that's documented. So I really think it's time that we start looking at this as is this nation really our friends? All right, and that's an assessment that you have to have.
And I will sort of parrot Joe's opinion, or I don't even know what his opinion is. I think it's pretty obvious. We've seen a lot of shit play out from the Israeli intelligence. Like that's what they're really good at. They're really
Yeah.
good at intelligence gathering,
Oh
right?
yeah, they're great. They're
Human
fantastic. Yeah.
intelligence, whatever you want to
Yep.
call it.
Yep.
They've pulled off some really crazy shit. Um, but if they're not our ally, then and they're someone we can't trust, that poses a lot more problems, I think, for us than we want
It
to,
does. No, you're
especially from
absolutely right.
just
It does.
going, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of Jewish people in the United States.
Well, and again, the
A lot with dual
obfuscation. Yeah.
citizenship too. So, I
Yeah.
mean,
And as they show on a daily basis, dual loyalty. And this is not just people in politics. This is people with money and people that control the politicians. So, yeah, it's a big fucking problem. It's a huge problem. It is perhaps, the problem of the last 50 years. How are we going to separate those two things? Can you separate those two things? And how are we going to handle this going forward if we realize that Israel, the nation, is just trying to use us for their own regional benefit? It doesn't give a shit what happens to us, our people, our money, any of this stuff.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what I just keep coming back on. Like I was so like fired up a year ago to just be like, man, it's so nice to just worry about our fucking selves and
Right. Yeah, me
let's take
too.
care of all
Yeah.
like we're fixing DC with the guard like we're going
Yeah,
after
dude.
like crime in all these major cities that we can actually flex a little bit to take back and make normal Americans safe
Yeah.
again and I was cool with all like the you know all the ICE shit like taking out all the like we talked
Yeah.
Somali fraud bullshit like really trying to
Yeah. Fucking
make
amazing.
America great again.
It's a novel concept. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
fucking
I mean,
amazing.
I just want that fucking focus. And at this point, I love President Trump. Like I said, I share the same sentiments that Joe does about it. He doesn't have a negative word to say about him. I don't either. I do believe like the only person that can really get us out of what we're in right now is obviously him. He's not just because
Yeah.
he's the president, but because I think he doesn't view shit like most
Right.
politicians, which is his biggest benefit.
Right.
Um, but man, I just want to wake up and see the blast from Twitter in my face of like everyone's coming home, like we fixed this shit, we got everything fixed, we're good, we're
Right.
just gonna worry about America now for the next 2.5+ years, and it's gonna be great. Iran's fine, they signed the deal, we're good.
Yeah.
You think that's gonna
I
happen sooner than because man, come on, Clay, I don't want to be talking to you when we're both 60, like yeah, here we are still in fucking Iran, and it's just,
oh shit, right. Ah, fuck. You no, and he's right, and you're right both. Donnie T is probably the only person that can fix this. The the only way that I see to fix this, though, and this is my, again, I'm a complete fucking retard. Nobody should listen to me, fucking opinion. The
same.
only way that the only way that you're getting out of this, though, is to give Iran like the regional precedence. Like you have to fucking basically take one of the chin, like, yeah, you know what? You did kick us out of the fucking Middle East. All right, bitch. Fucking Straits of Hormuz are open. Keep the toll tolerable, not fucking $2 million a ship, and we'll fucking leave. All right. And the rest of the Middle East is going to look over at fucking Iran now like they just punched fucking Mike Tyson in the fucking mouth. And he was like, okay, respect, and left. They're going to have to fucking bend the knee. And that makes Iran the new regional player. Uh,
No.
that's a tough pill to swallow. But I don't see a good way out of this otherwise. I think also it's funny. Did you see the newspaper article Benjamin Netanyahu having an interview with like the Jerusalem Post yesterday?
I don't I don't know. I might
Okay,
have missed that one.
this ungrateful motherfucker. He's like, oh yeah, the U.S. led us into this war. I believed in U.S.
Oh.
ability. I
Hmm.
thought they could hit a lot harder than they can. Fucking all this bullshit. Like
Now, is that
you,
legit, or you think that's just him
no,
playing a part to the specific audience there? Because we all do some dumb shit sometimes based on the
right.
audience.
Honestly, I don't give a fuck which one it was. Like you ungrateful fucking
That's
piece of
fair.
shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But I do think Israel has they went into this with the idea of playing that they could become the only regional power, and they would look tough actually. They did. They managed to fucking knock
I mean,
Iran out and have a revolution in the streets and shit. Even if they did it with American biceps, they could flex on everybody else. Like, what's
yeah,
up,
but
bitch?
they're still a 14th the size of
Right, right.
population. Like numbers game
Yeah.
still matters at some point.
Well, but they have done a remarkable job of getting the Gulf Coast countries to kind of recognize them and not fuck with and kind of do their bidding. I think that they thought they could come out of this really as the dominant regional player, and they probably could have. I think that time has passed now, and I think that's a fucking problem for them. They're panicking. Uh, because if they don't come out, or if they come out on the weaker side of this, and all the Gulf Coast countries looking to Iran as the fucking big dick player, that's an existential threat to them. That's a totally different fucking thing. It might not be an existential threat the next 2 or 3 years, but 10 years down the line, that's an existential threat. So because of that, I think they're going to do everything in their power to force us to stay the course here. And this is where we really get to the crux of the problem. The best thing for us to do would be to fucking pack up and leave Iran as the regional powerhouse, whatever. We'll have trade with you now. We'll, normalize relationships, whatever bullshit. We could do that for us. Uh, Israel cannot allow that to happen. So
Sounds promising, I guess.
Yeah, it's great. It's really good position to be in. Yeah, it's fucking
Yeah.
fantastic.
So okay, now so what's this mean for Russia and China? I saw something where Iran just stopped two Chinese ships from entering the Strait of Hormuz, and I mean, so I guess
Oh
that's a
shit.
big focus because we've been, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, I read that this morning. I didn't get too far into it, but yeah, because that's I could have swore
Hmm.
like we were really focused on back to Lisco and China and all this shit, and we're still
Yeah.
watching Russia wallow in Ukraine because they're not going to win that one. It is really funny to just read about Russia. Like they're such fucking idiots when they don't have to be, but whatever.
That's what
Um,
they're good at. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
It's
like
fucking amazing. Yeah.
it's like how did Ukraine of all people like adopt the proper strategies to have like an NCO core, but Russia still, after all this time in history, is just like
Right.
nah,
Yeah.
that's stupid.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, why the fuck we need that?
Oh, logistics sucks. That's fucking not important.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
We'll
So
just
yeah,
throw a
I am
shovel at it.
curious, like that, how Russia and China responds to this because that's go back to BRICS. I mean, like we're
Yeah.
already kind of in that, right? So is this
Yeah.
weakening it, or is this strengthening it? Is what do we get? What?
It's an interesting question. Also, it doesn't help that Ukraine just started, throwing Shahed drones at the fucking Russian oil
Yeah,
ports yesterday, which also cuts global supply, which is a fucking problem. I I guess I shouldn't be amazed because China and Russia, the one thing they are good at though is playing a long game. Like really think about the
yeah,
chess pieces before they make a move.
especially China.
Especially China. Yeah, no, they've been great at it. I think what this ends up doing, because it has to, is it strengthens the Chinese and Russian relationship. Because Russia has oil. Now it's difficult to get it out through the European side. Well, if you're friends with China, you could just build you a big motherfucking pipeline into China, which is also extremely well. You're talking deep into Russia, deep into China. Nobody's coming to China to fuck around. Like nobody. You're not sending some little commando guys into that place to do some fucking gangster shit. Like you're not. That's not fucking happening.
Right. No.
So I think this ends up very much strengthening that relationship. And it also, if that happens, that forces Southeast Asia to become much more reliant on China as the exporter. I was shocked to learn this morning because I don't deal in the Pacific much. That's kind of been like some over there shit that's not really my thing. Australia itself already gets something like 60% of its fuels from China, from Chinese refineries, like right now.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. That's why they're
Australia,
running
with all
out.
those fucking fossils that were there, they can't just figure this shit out themselves. Like, if I was
Nope.
Australia, I would just think like I could be the most independent nation on this entire fuck.
Right.
You think America's
Right.
insulated by water? Look at us.
Yeah. Look at
Apparently
us.
not.
Right. Yeah, no shit. Apparently not.
Apparently not.
So, but long term, like 5, 10 years down the line, because you can't build any of this infrastructure like fucking overnight. I do see this as very much strengthening the Chinese-Russian relationship and very much strengthening Southeast Asian dependency on China as the regional big dog.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, it's really not what the fuck we were trying to do,
No,
in my opinion.
no.
I don't think that any of that helps us in the
Yeah.
slightest.
Spending all that time, I was just in Korea and really starting to delve back into the whole geography of the Korean War conflict, and then just looking like, oh shit, China's right there on North Korea's border, and then their neighbors, Russia, right there. It's just like North
Yeah.
Korea has Russia and China just. I mean, it's really why the Korean War was so prolonged. The Chinese were like, here you go, here's a fucking 500,000 fucking soldiers. Have at
Right.
it.
Oh, we don't need them back either. These motherfuckers are extra. You know?
Yeah, it's just like really because my grandfather was in the Korean War, and I just never,
Yep.
I never. They do a really bad job in just American school systems of teaching
Oh
about the
no.
Korean War. Like all we
Yeah.
really know is World War II, and we don't
Right.
really know much about that. And then we just know
Yeah.
everything was awful in Vietnam, apparently.
Right.
But like Korea's forgotten, and it's just like
Yeah.
I never like I started sitting there really delving into it. I'm like, I didn't realize we had that many fucking soldiers on both sides involved in that.
Oh
Like
yeah,
that's
it was fucking
nuts.
wild. Yeah.
That is nuts, dude. Like it's
Yeah.
more than 2 million like, combined from both
Right.
sides.
Yeah.
And again, what the other thing that most I don't think most Americans know is like that's just still going on. That's not
Right.
a armistice. That's not a
Right.
fucking like the war's not over.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's bad, man. So that's why I just I don't know. Like I really want to. and I do this all the time, and you probably have too, is just like you trust that the people with, the clearances, right? The ones that are actually making these
Yeah.
decisions, they got the best interest at heart. But like, man, and I've said this probably in the chats and all before, but it's like I just want to be the fucking home team once.
Yeah.
Be the
Oh,
fucking
me
home
too.
team. Just want
Oh,
to be
dude,
the
we were doing so great. We were doing so great for like 6, 7, 8, 9 months. Yeah. Yeah. It was fucking amazing. Now I feel like we've undone all the good shit from the last year. Like, fuck. Like we're the kid that fucking I don't know, we got potty trained and now we just shit ourselves in the middle of the dance recital. Like, fuck, man, come on.
hey,
Come on.
whoever's not shit themselves, throw the first stone, right?
Right, right, right.
All right, let's transition. Like, we did that. I wanted to get into let's get to the barbarian spirit, right? Like
Yeah,
that's the thing you've got now,
yeah,
right? That's your big focus. What
yeah.
is it?
So about fuck, it's been almost a year now.
Okay.
So I came out of the military like my shit was not going great, as we would say in the business. I was medical retired. I took some fucking head trauma. Like my shit was fucked up, and I would say that it got progressively worse those first couple years of that. I was a fucking disaster. Well, finally, about 3 years ago, I started seriously considering psychedelics. And these are good for a number of things in the periphery of. I have to be very careful about the word that I use here. Uh, there's a lot of medical things that have been breakthroughs with this for like PTSD, TBI, regrowing actual brain tissue, which is crazy to think about because we're roughly the same age, man. I'm a Nancy Reagan kid, bro. Fucking just say no to drugs.
Yeah.
All these things are bad. They'll fry your
Dare, the
brain.
whole
It's
Dare
weird.
program,
Yeah,
right?
fuck yeah. I still got a t-shirt somewhere.
I got you. Yep, say.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So, I would have been hyper scared of these types of things. And
Yeah.
most, I think,
Yeah.
veterans would be, especially when you got TBI, you got brain injury. Like, you don't want to pour some brain shit on some brain damage.
Yeah.
But this has basically been hidden from us since about the 60s. It turns out that these certain psychedelics, as a class of drug, can do amazing things across the board for things that are soldiers' problems. So about a year ago, and so I took the step and I've used many of these substances and it made me so much fucking better. And about a year ago, I founded a church specifically focused on using psychedelics for veterans, for veteran issues, because I found a number of things I went through this process that were just absolutely insane. And all these are backed up by, again, like studies from the medical side. I would encourage anybody, especially any veterans considering these things, to look at Professor Hendricks from University of Alabama. He's done some of the most recent work, and it was his work that actually was used in the John Hopkins study, also for PTSD. But the biggest thing about psychedelics, especially when they have to be used a certain way. All right, you can't just like take them go to a fucking Fish concert and get the benefit. It doesn't work like that. So
Take
it
that,
really does.
fish.
Yeah, fuck you. Grateful Dead too. So there's really two ways that you can use them to get help through these things. It's either therapeutically or ritually, and either of those will solve certain things. I chose to go down the ritual path, and I founded a church that uses psychedelics to get to the spiritual root of soldiers' problems, and that's what I do. That's my primary focus, and it does an amazing fucking job. I've seen guys come to me just a suicidal alcoholic fucking wreck. I put them through a one night fucking ritual with psilocybin, especially, and they wake up the next day and they're a shitload better. The suicidal stuff, it's instantly gone, and most of them it gives them the leverage they need to start getting their lives back together. Now it can be a longer process. One of the other things that I pride myself on is realizing that not everything is a spiritual problem the same way that not everything's a medical problem. All right.
Right.
So I deal with the spiritual side of things. All right. When I see that this needs to go somewhere else, I have a network of therapeutic providers in the states where that's legal, and I can pass guys off to that. But I've also gotten them through the threshold of I don't know what your college experience was like, but for most of us that have never done them, all right, psychedelics are a scary fucking drug to contemplate.
Yeah.
Especially,
Like,
we've been
like we
through
just talked
war.
about coming through the dare and all that shit. Like I
Oh
just
yeah, hell yeah.
everything was evil. They're going to jail. My dad was a corrections officer. He said if I see you in jail when I come to work in the morning, you're fucking staying there. Like that's
Right.
that's
That's your ass. That's your fucking ass. Right.
that's shit I was raised with.
Oh hell yeah. Well, you especially think about this from where we are, most of us in our 30s and 40s, like, okay, now I've been to war and I've seen all this terrible shit and all this. Do I think that pouring just from the outset, does it look like pouring psychedelics on that's a fucking good idea? Like, No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
But it turns out that it really does work because it also doesn't do things in the way that, the Dare program told us it would do. It doesn't make dudes just fucking freak out and, relive, fucking Al Coot, but with zombies or some fucking crazy shit like that. You're not gonna run naked through the fucking woods, fucking swinging hatchets at people.
Well, that
Done the
sucks.
correct.
That's what I was really hoping
Yeah,
for.
it's fucking amazing, right? Done the correct way in a strong ritual way. What you're gonna do is you're gonna fucking lay down and you're gonna see things. You're gonna go to places, but it's gonna help you deal with these problems. It's not gonna be a scary fucking nightmarish experience. Uh, it just doesn't work that way in the slightest. So yeah, that's what I've been up to, and that's the program right now.
How did you get in? How did you like what made you was like, I need to really get into this and research it and figure out like if this is gonna
I
help me. Right.
I got into this in a fucking super fucking weird path. So I would have never considered this on my own initiative. I don't think I would have. But what happened was post-COVID, especially after I wrote Concrete Jungle and Prairie Fire, those are my survival books.
Yeah.
So those got a weird following amongst like tech bros, like
Really?
well off tech bros,
Oh shit.
particularly in the Austin area shit. It spoke to them in a weird way. As they told me later, it's almost like you were able to take like the jock shit, but interject the
Yeah.
intellectual shit so that it was compatible to
Yeah,
those types
Concrete
of
Jungle was
guys.
definitely that way for sure. But
Yeah.
you love Krav
So
Maga, so but anyway, go
yeah,
ahead.
like the best ever, best ever. But it got to this kind of almost cult like following around these dudes, and they asked me to
Interesting.
like come out of retirement because I'd stopped doing
Yeah.
training and shit. They asked me to like come out of retirement and come teach them
Yeah.
personally, like guns and knives shit.
Yeah, sure.
I go
Free
down
money.
there,
Why not?
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. And they're like, what's? I'm like, well, for the right number. They're like, how about this number? I'm like, okay, I'm packing
How
my
about we
suitcase right
triple
now.
that?
So yeah, yeah, fuck, I'll be right there. But as I'm dealing with these dudes, this is kind of like their like offline thing they're talking about. They're all using it as a performance enhancer. All right. It
Okay.
turns out that like most of your coders and stuff and all the tech industry, they're microdosing every fucking day.
Really?
Uh,
Wow.
all this shit about like Tim Cook and Steve Jobs coming up with like touch screens in the throes of ayahuasca. It's all fucking true. But these guys were using it mostly as like a performance enhancer, but they're talking about it. And several of them had also invested money in some of the early initiatives that still exist for veterans groups, especially when they take them to Mexico and that kind of thing, because a lot of this can't be legally done in the United States. So in the course of talking to them, I started asking questions like, well, think that would help me? And they're like, oh yeah, it would, like probably. And it takes about a year before I'm like, you know what, fuck it, man. I'm a mess. My shit is totally fucked up. I will risk anything, which is how I looked at it because I was scared, perfectly honestly, of doing these things. And so I finally took the plunge, did it myself. And once I came out the backside of that, man, I was like the guy, like I couldn't stop fucking talking about it. Like especially like my close circle of friends, like, holy fuck, you
It was
gotta you
like
gotta try
CrossFit.
it. Yeah, exactly. It's exactly like CrossFit, only less cardio, though. It's way better.
So is this like the ayahuasca stuff we see Aaron Rodgers has done with the NFL and like
Yeah,
it's
that's
big,
that's one aspect
yeah.
of it. Yeah. I've never done it. I is one of the ones that I've never touched. You got to have like some specialized
Okay.
stuff for that. You usually got to go to Mexico for that one.
Okay.
Uh, I like psilocybin. Psilocybin is
Psilocybin.
psilocybin magic mushrooms. I think is where most veterans should start. It seems to be.
What
It's
is
almost
that?
like it's mushrooms. So they grow right out of the
Okay.
ground. It's the magic mushrooms from your concert days. Um, Yeah, or fucking most people have done this, or a lot of people have done this, like recreationally in college and shit. It's a very common drug, if you will. Grows on all fucking six continents naturally. It was actually legal in Europe, England especially, in non-dried form until 2005. It's the most naturally produced thing that we have. And it's really fucking wild because to make psilocybin work, all you have to do is dry it. That's it. It grows out of the fucking ground. You dry it, you eat it, and it has the effect. Other ones that I'm a big fan of, MDMA, which is also notoriously a party drug. It actually has a very strong spiritual fucking aspect to it as well as therapeutic. MDMA was actually developed in the 20s by a German scientist who wanted for for psychologist use something that gave all the benefits of LSD or psilocybin, but did so without the hallucinations and the disconnection from self. That's actually what it was developed for. And then it got banned. And then in the 60s, some underground chemists decided how to, or figured out how to reform it. But it was used for a long time as a psychoanalyst drug. Yeah.
So you said you've had people come in who were suicidal,
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
they leave that.
Yep.
How does that do that? Like, and why is this not something that's like this
Well
seems like
fucking
this should
known.
be like at every
Oh,
VA
no,
clinic
no, no.
in the
This should
fucking
be,
country.
no, every fucking clinic in America should have this shit. How does it fucking work? Okay, I'm going to give you the science side and then I'm going to give you the Clay Martin's fucking theory side. The science side is nobody fucking knows. All right, but
That's
you can go look at the studies on it. It's like 80% effective in a therapeutic setting for instantaneously shutting down suicidal thought and keeping it shut down forever.
wow. Wow.
Uh,
You
my
have to
my
stay
opinion.
doing it, or is it a one-time thing?
No, no, no. It's a one shot. Bam. It's
Wow.
over.
That's
It's
odd.
done.
That's
Yeah, it's
extreme.
fucking crazy.
Wow.
Like no bullshit. If we took every guy from the suicide hotline for the VA and we're like, okay, fuck it, come in, and just as soon as they walked in the door, fed them 5 grams of mushrooms and had them lay down, 80 to 85% of them would never have a suicidal thought again.
That's fucking insane.
No, it is. It's fucking insane. It sounds like
And
too good to be true.
that's
Fucking,
backed up through
that's backed
medical.
by science. That's backed
Yeah.
up through medical research. Yeah. It does. It sounds too good to be fucking true, but
Yeah.
you know, it's fucking true. And I've seen this personally with dudes that come in. They're a fucking disaster. Fucking I'll I stay in contact with all the people that go through my rituals as well. Some of this is 2 years down the line now. Suicidal thought is over. My personal thought, my opinion on this, I don't think that suicidal thought comes from you. I actually think that's a very small form of like demonic possession. Because most guys will say that also if they haven't done it, but they'll be like it's almost like a voice was telling me to do this.
Oh.
I actually had this for many years. And I just thought it was normal. It wasn't even like I'm depressed or some bullshit like that. I would just be like walking past a gun in my house. I'd be like, I should pick that up and put it to my head and be like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah, I just thought it was normal, or I thought it was part of TBI. It kind of is. I think also to a degree, like traumatic brain injury and this kind of shit that we've all had from the war makes it so that those voices are able to reach you more. My opinion then is that psilocybin acts as an exorcism of that demon and it closes those fucking loops where it's no longer able to speak to you. Uh, like I said, it does so near instantaneously. And to be perfectly honest, I don't give a fuck which one it is. I don't care if it's some science bullshit that we don't know or it's fucking demonic possession and it fucking throws the fucking shield. All I know is it fucking works.
So you may recall, as a fairly new Catholic, I had
Yeah.
I remember you used the word sacrament at one point, and you explained that
Yes.
that was because it was a legal term, right? But
Well, it's,
sacrament
it's,
means
it's
very different things, right, to a Catholic. Like you
mhm.
can't just throw
Yep.
that fucking term out.
Right.
But I am curious because what you said just now, that the suicidal thought could be potentially some form, maybe minimal or whatever, of some sort of demonic possession. And that's very
Yeah.
fucking real. Like I've
Yeah.
had
Yeah. Oh yeah.
discussions
Fuck yeah.
with priests going through like
Yeah.
our CIA program and just
Yep.
listening to the stuff that they've witnessed.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like people need to understand whether you want to be a believer in the Holy Spirit or not, like the demons are real.
Yeah. They are
Like, that's
fucking
a
real.
real fucking
Yeah.
thing that we
Absolutely
struggle
fucking
with.
real.
And I think that's a very good point because Satan's a fucking tricky bastard and he's always trying to
Oh yeah.
take out the best of us, which who else would be a greater target than the fucking ones who've literally fought and
Oh
died
fuck.
for everything, right?
Well,
Because you're
well, you can.
susceptible, like you said. Like you've seen
Yeah.
some most guys like yourself, you've seen
Yep.
some shit. Like you've had to be on the dealing end of death at sometimes, and that does things to
Yeah.
people.
Well, extrapolate this further. Okay. So blood is the currency of the demonic realm. All right. They love that shit. All right. Who better to put the feather in your cap? You got them to off themselves and the guys that have spilled a lot of it. All
Yeah.
right, that
Exactly.
almost counts as like a fucking loot drop for things that you've done. Now
Yeah.
you've killed them by proxy. The
And
other
you kill the
thing,
strongest of us.
yeah, oh yeah, that's fucking great, man. That's fucking fantastic. You did it by
Yeah.
trickery and deceit.
Yeah.
That's all fit in the fucking bill. This has just occurred to me in the last few months, and I think this is actually very true too. I think in some ways it's also a curse. Because what did we fucking do as a nation? All right, we
What's the
went,
curse, real quick?
well, I'm gonna get to it.
Okay,
We
gotcha.
went we went to the lands of Allah, all right,
Okay.
and we did so intentionally lowering our banner of who we were there for. This was never a religious war for us. It was never, we weren't even allowed to use those fucking terms. We did not go and conquer in the name of, fucking the Lord or Yahweh or Christ. In
Yeah.
fact, we said that we weren't doing so. And we walked into the house of a very powerful fucking demon. Do we not think that that would open us up then even more, make us more susceptible to this demonic possession? All right. Does that mean that in a weird kind of not fully but partially way that the Lord Himself withdrew His protection from us because of the way that we did these things? And I think that there's something to be said for that.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It's a lot
It
to
is
take
a
in.
lot. And, like I said, fairly new to the Catholic world, but I do see that. And I just had this conversation with someone who I trust very deeply because, they're studying to become a priest and they're just
Mhm.
way more knowledgeable over the subject
Yeah,
matter than I. But, I asked like, hey, because someone else had reached out about
yeah.
interesting in conversion, but what is the Catholic Church's official position on Islam? And he went back and found like the specific document from Vatican II in
Mhm.
1965, and I read it, and he's like, here's the like really important part of it, but go ahead and read the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of disappointed because
Mhm.
I get it, like the word of Jesus is like, hey, you need to love your brothers and sisters, all of them. You have to
Yep.
do that, and that's very fucking hard,
Yep.
which is, and it's even the Bible. Like the path to heaven is perfection, and that's fucking impossible almost for all of us,
Yes.
for just about everyone. Like
Yep. Yep.
but that's what's asked of us, and I get it, and that's the whole point of this whole fucking thing we're trying to do is like you strive for perfection, and
Yep.
hopefully you don't fall too far from it. But yeah, I was a little disappointed in the answer, the official position, and I there was some encouragement on like maybe that's something that will be reviewed in the future, but. Um, yeah, like honestly, like it's tough, bro. It's really
It
tough
is.
because I like it's one of those things where you just can't arrive at the answer. Like it's just it's too
Yeah.
there's nothing there. Like it's like you ask me
Yeah.
a question on like what I think about this, and be like, all right, I can find that. But we start getting into something like that, and it's just like, dude, I don't have the fucking answers, and I'm not supposed to.
Right. Yeah.
That's one thing I
Yeah.
did learn. Like, is like, you know what? You're not supposed to understand God's plan. You're a fucking human. You're right. You're not God. You
Right.
don't get to understand the plan.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
That's just not what you were built for. You were built for
Yeah.
something else. But I really like, I don't know. We've had crusades in the past.
Yeah.
And
Christian church
I don't,
position. This is what we
right.
need to do.
And I don't want to say that like, that's what the point of, Iraq and Afghanistan was, because it clearly wasn't like you said, like, don't
Right.
mention those things. What I will say
Right.
is I remember this. I remember being, because I mobilized out of Fort Stewart in Georgia to go to
Yep.
Iraq in 2003. Um, and again, I told you I didn't become a Catholic until fairly recently. I was
Right.
always
Yep.
Christian, but I was non-denominational, and that's an
Yeah.
option
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
can put on
Yeah.
your dog chains, right?
Right.
I was getting dog tags because I had lost mine, and I was at the mob site getting new dog tags. And I remember my squad leader, I won't say his name, but he's like, "You can put that non-denomination shit on if you want, but where we're going, they know." And I was just like, "What is he talking about?" Like, it goes to what you're saying. He's like, "Do you think they give a fuck if you're non-denomination?"
Right.
No,
Exactly.
exactly.
Right. Exactly. Right.
They
Exactly.
know exactly what you're coming there to do. And that's probably what you go back and think about it. And it goes
Yeah.
back to what we started talking about at the beginning. Like, hey, we can bleed out America, right? Because
Yeah.
we're slow playing this game because we don't think like you. We are
Right.
not
Yeah.
Christians. We
Right.
do not like, and that's what it comes back to, that Vatican II message is like the way the Catholic Church views Muslims is that they at least, while subscribing to the only possible path to salvation is through Jesus Christ, but they at least acknowledge that the Muslims recognize one true God and they view Jesus as a prophet.
Right. Correct.
There's
Yep.
all kinds of other shit we can get into, but
Yeah. 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 Fuck yeah. Yep.
that's what they're saying. It's just like the God that Muslims worship is the same God that Catholics worship and
Right.
Christians. But yeah, it's very different because I mean, we go back to slow playing, right? We just look around, man. The slow
Yeah.
game, like all of Western culture, it's all being lost through the slow game, and
Yeah.
it's it's just not compatible, man. Like we're
No,
just
it's
not we
fucking not.
it's not
Fucking
compatible.
not.
You just got rear-ended by a Somali. Did you ever think living
Yeah.
in fucking Idaho you would be rear-ended
No,
by
not
someone
the
from
fucking
fucking
slightest.
Somalia?
Not the fucking slightest.
Is
Yeah.
anyone in Somalia getting rear-ended by an American?
I know shit, but fuck it. I'm gonna go to Mogadishu on vacation. Just
It
fucking
sounds like we need to just flip
just
this whole thing
smack
because I
somebody's
always
Honda
did
Civic.
say I will say I contend, and especially watching that Netflix documentary where they did some shit from the coast, but looking at the geography, Somalia is a beautiful fucking country. How the fuck did y'all
No,
fuck that up? You're right on the beach.
yeah.
That should be Miami. What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Oh shit. No fucking shit. That's fucking amazing. Yeah.
I feel like maybe we need to just, you know what? You want to come here? We're going there. We're going to take all you fucking people
Fuck it.
out of power. Well, it shouldn't be that hard, right? They just,
Yeah.
they're
Play
Somali.
to play to our strengths. It's flat. You can bring tanks. Fucking problem solved.
Yeah,
Bradley tanks,
like
land them right there.
I don't know. I am just I am so okay. So what is the church? What's the church name?
The church name is Path of the Barbarian Spirit.
Pat
It's
the Barbarian Spirit.
Path of the
Okay.
Barbarian Spirit.
Path
It's
of it.
funny.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's really funny. And this all goes back to how do you legally found a church is part of all this fucking game. It's fucking weird because I wrote the book first, and
Yeah.
then like that was about my personal experiences, and then like a year later when I was like, I got the message like you need to found a church. And part of that needs to be part of the things that need to go into this are you have to have if you want to play psychedelics, you have to have what's the definition of this? How do they say it? You must have irrefutable links to a long-standing tradition that requires the use of psychedelics as part of your worship. Like, oh, well, fuck, I have that. Also, it helps if you have a holy text. Oh, fuck, I have one of those too.
What's the holy
Uh,
text? The Barbarian Spirit.
exactly. Yeah, that's 100%.
I need to order it. I'm going to order it after this because I just want to read
Hey,
it, man. Like that's the one. Like yeah, I
it
need.
is. It's a pathway given to me in a
But you
religious
wrote
fucking manner.
that is
Yeah,
your experience.
that is
That's
my
your
experience. Yeah.
experience with
Yep.
the
Psychedelics.
psychedelics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm. Yep. It was what was laid out and handed to me, which is the foundations of the church. So yeah, we have basically solved the this is how I can tell you that I didn't make this shit up because never in my wildest fucking dreams would I have done it this way. You know, written a holy text first, decided it was a holy text, and then founded a church like a fucking year later while dudes are dying 22 a day. I've also asked this question many times. I really have over in the ether. Like, if you would have just shown me Jesus and made this a Christian pathway, that would have been so much fucking easier. And the answer to that has been, well, yes, but check it out. You couldn't make a pathway that has a long-standing relationship to psychedelics, white guy, as a Christian. The only way you could do that would be some kind of the way some of the South American churches have got it with a kind of glommed on Christianity to South American shamanism. Instead, what I was handed was a fucking perfect pathway to old Northern European paganism, which has 7,000 to 8,000 year tradition that we know of using these substances. Everything just worked out in a way that I couldn't have fucking fabricated. And it was necessary in order to make this fucking work. And here we are.
How many members do you have?
Uh, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Really? Holy shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And everyone's had
The
a positive experience.
well, this is actually the funny thing. I say this right in Barbarian Spirit too. After I wrote Barbarian Spirit, because I didn't really talk to anybody about my experience, what was going on. And the Barbarian Spirit is about my first 6 or 8 months of using psychedelics, which it was also, I was speed running this. This is something that a lot of people will do like once a year or once every 6 months. I was at one point like sometimes every 2 weeks, which
Okay.
is fucking crazy. It's also there's a weird tolerance thing, especially with psilocybin. You can't, most people can't do it more often than that because your tolerance build to it is so fast. Like if you take 5 grams today and 3 days from now you want to have another repeat, you have to take 10 grams to match that. And pretty soon it doesn't take more than like 6 or 7 days. You're at a point where you cannot physically ingest that much substance in order to get to the same place. That has actually not been true for me. Sometimes this will happen to me 3 days apart. They'll call back to me and I'll take the same amount and have the exact similar depth of experience. But anyway, the point is the book is about my first 6 months of experience with this. And yeah, it's pretty fucking wild, but when the book came out, a lot of dudes that had depth, decades of psychedelic experience read it, and they're like, "Dude, everything you have is a bad trip." I'm like, "The fuck are you talking about? Like, I've never seen it that way." This is something that's been kind of universal across the veteran practice too. Veterans are going to see what would scare the shit out of a normal civilian. They're going to see things that are stressful. But it never affects us in that same way. It just we were made for this shit, and that's what I tell guys as part of my in brief too. Like, hey, they might even fucking try to scare you to keep you from getting to the knowledge that you want. Everyone on the backside of it though has come out with a positive experience. Every single person.
And fuck, it doesn't have to be more than once.
Nope. A lot of guys. I do a bunch of
One and
guys
done.
that are. Yep, a bunch of guys that I've done this with is one and done. Some guys will want to do it, yearly, but most guys, I would say actually the majority of veterans is one and done.
Is there an actual prescription, like what it should be, or is it just
No, you got to kind of wing it. For a lot of most people, if you lean back on like the psychedelic experience, I'll say 5 grams is called a heroic dose. That's what you need to get. Usually, there's also what's it called? The default mode network, something in your brain that's kind of like a root operating system. Most people will say you need to get 4 to 5 grams on board to be able to trip that default mode network, and that's where you actually get real life change. For about 3 days after that, you're receptive to new patterns, new habits, that kind of shit. I've had to go as high as like 8 grams on a veteran before because we have also kind of built-in resistance to mind-altering things. But that's no big deal. The weirdest thing about psilocybin specifically is to get a toxicity. You're talking pounds, like 20 pounds, like a fucking bag like this big of mushrooms in order to like actually hurt you. It's one of the safest substances on earth. In fact, usually if you overdose, which is you take too much and your brain just can't handle it, which is for most people around 10 grams, you just go to sleep. That's it. You'll wake up in 8 hours. There'll be no like respiratory stress, no heart fucking crazy shit. You'll just not have the experience because you'll go to sleep. It's almost impossible to poison yourself with it, which is also fucking insane.
where do you get this stuff from?
Well, as a church, I can legally grow mine on my own
Oh
property.
shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's perfectly legal to do. In Washington, D.C. is actually legal. Like right now on the street, vendors like dispensaries and shit, you can go right to it, buy it all day long. Seattle's the same way. Uh, Oregon, it was decriminalized, but it's back to being only legal for state licensed therapists to use. But there's methods, and it's super easy to grow. Anybody watching, like you could, almost every state you can order what's called spore prints, which are legal to possess. And then if they start growing in your basement, I just don't tell anybody.
All right. And so how do you normally ingest this stuff? Do you cook it,
No,
tea,
you
eat it,
you don't have
just
to
eat
do
it
it.
raw? What?
My opinion is that some people will put it in a slurry of tea with like lemon juice. Some people grind it up into pills. I think that's all incorrect. I think you just have to eat it like our ancestors would have, because that's actually part of the process. Eating like 5 grams of dried mushrooms that don't taste very good is kind of a process. Another thing that's true with that, this sounds like woo woo and fucking weird, but you will find that when you've had enough, like the mushrooms will start tasting bad, and you just don't eat anymore after that.
It's
But
like
it's kind of
drinking
a self.
bourbon. It starts
It
tasting.
really is. No, it is. Yeah, it starts tasting bad. Like, oh fuck, we're done.
That's like time to stop.
Yeah, it really is like a self-regulating thing, and it's kind of funny too because I've done it enough now that like mushrooms kind of have like a neutral taste to me. But I'll tell dudes when they go into this, like, hey, these might not taste. They'll taste a little bit like dirt or like you
Yeah.
know, and
Anything can be worse. Can't be worse than
yeah,
beets.
yeah. But most of the time, there it's almost like there's something in human body that craves this if we've never had it. I'll like look around and everybody's finished with their 5. I'm on like piece number 1 and they've fucking just like shotgun this thing. Like that was delicious. Like, oh fuck. Well, here we go.
So you do it with them.
Oh yes, this is also a weird thing about the difference between religious and therapeutic. I do it with them, which is unorthodox, but there are reasons for that. In a weird way, what I've found for me is like I can actually, to a degree, enter people's dreams and alter that as long as I have the substance in me too.
Wait, so I'm not saying I'm going to do this for anyone
Yeah,
listening, but if I
yeah,
did do this, I'm
yeah,
going to have Clay enter my dreams.
yeah.
What are you doing there, Clay? What are you? what's,
So
what's...
Sometimes it's required for me to kind of in a weird like way of psychosomatic surgery. Sometimes I had to cut things out and drag them out of you. Inhabitants that you necessarily don't know how to get rid of, but I do. I can see them in this form. Um, yeah, it's just kind of weird like that. Yeah, it's fucking bizarre, but that's how it goes.
Where do you do this at? What's the setting?
So
What's
we're still trying to raise enough op fund to get a permanent facility, which we haven't gotten yet. But preferable, especially with psilocybin, you want to be in nature. So I'll like rent
okay.
an Airbnb like way away from town. Uh, Hit the main power breaker so that it's actually fucking dark. Psilocybin brings out something about nature in everybody anyway. There's another thing they found on the medical side of this. Something like 70% of people that have this, they end up with just a stronger connection to nature in general. So this is also one of the reasons I think it works better as a ritual method than it does for a therapeutic method. Therapeutic method, you go into a doctor's office, you eat this shit, you lay on the couch for 8 hours under the fucking halogen lights or whatever, and you get in your car and go home. For me, I take dudes out. We do this at night. We do it around campfire. A little bit of ritual that goes along with it. We fucking do this through the dark of the fucking night, and I keep them for 3 days afterwards because that's the most critical of the integration period. After you do all this stuff and you go on the fucking journey, all right, and you get that default mode network reset, it's those next 3 days that are critical. So if you can spend those laying around throwing pine cones and fucking looking at squirrels and shit, you're gonna be a lot better off than going right back to your day job.
Yeah, I guess that was what we would ask. Like, what are the next 3 days entail? What's that like?
It's pretty fucking weird. It's actually kind of hard to explain if you've never done it. You stay to a degree in like receive mode. Like you won't be hallucinating anymore, but you'll still be very receptive to kind of just feeling things from the ether. Some parts of your trip will come back to you. All right, and you'll see them in a different light. It's not even like really like you'll hallucinate again, but you'll remember what happened. Be like, oh, this is what this fucking meant. Especially because mushrooms themselves speak a lot of times they speak in metaphor rather than in actual memory. So like you might not see you going to Talfar again. You might see a fucking dragon. All right, that it means the same thing. It just takes a little while to process it. Like, oh, this is what the fuck they were talking about. That's also one of the things that makes it easier to process as especially like as a traumatic memory or something like that. If you just see the traumatic memory again, well, that's one thing. If you see it as something different or you see it from a different angle, a different lens, that makes it easier to deal with and therefore throw in the fucking trash.
Do you write at all, like journals, anything based on each experience to kind of tweak your approach or learn from? Like, or
No, it's more kind of I don't really like writing it down because I feel like it actually takes away from my experience in the after to journal it. It's just I learn something new every time we do this, but it just kind of affects my approach, and it's just something that I mentally fucking put in the catalog. Okay, now we add this to the equation, and off we
yeah.
go.
What's the ultimate goal with it from your perspective? Like, I know you want to get veterans
Oh
in
yeah,
to do that, but
stop veterans from fucking killing themselves.
yeah.
Like that's
I mean, it
fucking
sounds like it should be. It could because I go back to the Aaron Rodgers thing, right? Like football
Mhm.
player probably experiences something close to TBI with concussions and all, like
Oh yeah, for sure.
combat sports guy. Like it seems like there's a lot of
Yeah.
people who would be open or at least
Oh yeah, there's
suffer from
some
those thing, right? Because
yeah.
the brain getting
There,
injured is what convinces
yeah,
us, like you said, and it may be the demonic shit. You never know. Like, but either
yeah.
way, the
Maybe
brain's
it's both.
weakened.
Yeah,
Brain's getting
yeah,
weakened, right? And
yeah.
and your
There's a there's
experiences,
there's another MMA guy. I'll look it up after we get off the call. Some relatively famous MMA guy did a bunch of psilocybin therapy because he was fucked up from getting hit in
yeah,
the fucking head.
yeah,
And same thing, it came out way better for him. This is also an important point, especially for both you and for a largely Christian audience. The question has come up many times because I do. I'm a professed fucking pagan. That's the pathway that was shown to me. But I've done this for a shitload of Christians of all flavors, Catholics, Mormons, Protestants, whatever. The weird thing about it is when we do this, those guys never see what I see. All right. If they come into this with strong faith, that's who will come to them. There's usually some form of an angel or something like that. And they won't wake up feeling pagany. All right. They'll wake up with a feeling a stronger relationship to God, their God. And so it's not like this is done as a conversion thing or some other fucking horse shit like that
yeah.
either.
What's preventing? Because I'm curious. Like you,
What's
they
yeah,
come out more affirmed in their beliefs, but
yep,
you're not on that path. You're
correct.
right. What
Yep.
what is what has that been like for you? Were you ever
Mm,
Christian? I guess would be a question. Were you or
no,
no? Never.
no,
Okay.
never. Well, okay, let me back that up one step. My parents became Jehovah's Witnesses when I was like 11. All right, so I
Okay.
had to deal with that like cult-like bullshit for
Yeah.
about 5 years until I left the fucking house. And that made me a very strong, avowed atheist until about 3 years ago.
Oh
And
wow. So
it was
your entire
honestly,
time in the service, that's crazy.
oh yeah, yeah, which is
Wow.
also nuts, yeah, because we saw
Yeah.
some crazy shit. There was a
Yeah.
time to come to
Especially,
religion. That was
I was
probably
gonna
the
say,
early.
especially the path you went. It's not like,
Yeah, yeah,
oh, just fucking hide out, be a cook.
right, right, right. And I mean, I will be perfectly honest too. I will say that it was my first experience with psilocybin that unatheisted me like instantly,
Okay.
like fucking right then, because I saw a connection to God that was undeniable to me, and yeah, there's just no way to go back after that. I was like, holy fuck. I mean, just yeah,
So
it's fucking
what, I
wild.
guess that would be my, because I've
Yeah,
always wondered this. So like,
yeah,
what is your connection to God then? Because it's not, you don't see what
mhm,
Christians see, but you do
right.
see and recognize God.
Yes, no, and it's been a very weird and very long path. Who spoke to me first was Odin, or Wotan, if you will. But even from that first experience, I understood that not to be like the fucking most high and the creator of the fucking universe. I understood that to be like a construct, like a stand-in.
Hmm.
And this is honestly, this is what I see all of the Norse pantheon as, or you see the Greek pantheon or Roman or whatever. Those are like subroutines because that's something that a man brain can understand. Even when you look at the pantheon principle, like it makes a lot of that's like 12 faces of different men that are all aspects of us. I think that's what they've always been is a way for primitive mind to grasp concepts they can't otherwise. Um, so I knew that from the beginning. But I went down a lot of other fucking strange roads with this. But that was always kind of my interface with the spirit realm was some version of the Norse pantheon. Uh, I yeah, fucking I've already talked about this before. I did at one.
It's
Thank you
all
for
right.
not spilling tea outside of school. It was a year ago actually on the Passover full moon. I did actually speak with Yahweh himself. Also, he fucking sent for me, and I got to talk to him, and it was motherfucking weird. Uh, it was incredible because he sent for me, not the other way around. And when I was in his presence, I was like, the first thing I thought was I have very seriously fucked up because I've been walking down this other road. This I'm like, oh shit. When you meet that fucking dude, like you don't even have to ask who he is. You know, but he'll tell you anyway. And what he told me was, no, you didn't make a mistake. Like I kept you from Christianity. I did all these things to steer you onto this other path and pathway, specifically because I needed you to do this. I needed this is all my shit. He's like, and that's even something from the Bible when you look at it from the breaking
Yeah,
the Tower
God
of
uses
Babel.
people for sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
he gave people other gods too. Those are angels. Uh,
Mhm.
this was done by design. Outside,
Mhm.
fucking it's an odd doctrinal piece, but it's in there. There's little g gods in the Bible as well. But that's what he told me. He's like, I needed you to do this. I need you to walk this fucking road. I needed it for these certain fucking reasons. And so no, we're cool. Like we're good. Uh, like part of the deal is like you don't try to convert Christians. All right. If people use these substances, they see your fucking pagan path. Well, you lead them. You're their priest. All right. Otherwise, you give them the help they need. Give them like fucking kill themselves and send them back to their own people. And that's it. That's the deal.
And everyone that's come to you, these hundreds, it's all been positive.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts,
Every
man.
bit of no, it's fucking crazy.
Have you now? I mean, have you pursued the VA at all? Like, hey, here's what I'm doing, and that's why I go back to
I
documentation, like
yeah,
because
right.
it just seems like
I haven't I haven't gotten to it yet because we've been moving and all this other bullshit and getting like the stability of organization under us. There are actually quite a few other psychedelic churches that specifically deal with veterans that are out there. A couple of bigger organizations. The biggest obstacle to wide adaptation of this, though, is it's the medical lobbying community. They do not want to see this
Boys,
shit happen.
of course
Because
not.
yeah, this would do very fucking serious
Because we
damage
got
to
other
all of
drugs
your
we can
psych
give
drugs.
you. We can just make you.
Exactly. And you got to be on them for life, which is amazing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. And
Uh,
here's another fun fact. A lot of those same drugs, this is actually one of the questions that you have to ask for guys coming to this. Like, are you on any of these? Because some of them, it actually will make a lethal interface. It can happen. Uh, a thing that's totally safe by itself, mixed with certain types of psychiatric drugs, bam, you're dead.
yeah,
Uh, some of the other ones merely nerf the experience, which is pretty wild too. So you're telling me that if you're on this psychiatric drug, all of a sudden this plant from the fucking earth doesn't do anything anymore. Like, huh, that's interesting. That's weird that is how that worked out. So yeah, so there's
I see where you're going.
yeah, that's fucking very strange. So yeah, it's pretty fucking wild, but yeah, in a just world, we'd be doing. This is one of the things that I say about this often too. It's like, okay, dude calls you up, he's fucking suicidal. Like, okay, well, he's gonna kill himself. Like, what's the downside to trying this, fucking wild ass,
Yeah.
substance? There is none. This is gonna fucking make it worse. Like, if he's serious, gonna kill himself. Like, what's the fucking downside to trying this? There's zero. There's fucking zero downside.
That is the one thing I forgot to ask. What about PTSD? Is it
Oh, it's
what does it
amazing
work
for
with?
that. Oh, fuck, man, it's great. It's fucking awesome. It is absolutely stunning on PTSD. Psilocybin does great, and then what I like to do is the follow on for that is like, okay, we do a psilocybin experience, which is the more hallucinogenic and
Yeah.
whatever. Once you're done with that, are like, okay, man, now I want you to go to a specialist or a therapist that specializes in MDMA therapy, and then you take that. MDMA is actually better for, in my opinion, PTSD, but you need the psilocybin experience first. And
What is NDMA?
MDMA is it's the party drug ecstasy.
Oh,
But
okay, gotcha.
but what it does in this in a correct setting and not a fucking rave is this sounds kind of crazy if you've never fucking done it, but I've done quite a few MDMA sessions myself. What MDMA does is it kind of gives you this disassociation and that it brings up whatever bullshit is fucking with you, but it does so in a manner that you can handle it. It basically lets you feel things that you couldn't otherwise feel without going fucking insane. And it does it without going on a wild ass, fucking dragons and trains fucking trip. I it's that doesn't really make sense unless you've done it, but that's what it fucking
Yeah,
does.
yeah, yeah. That's wild. Because that's what I think. Because not everyone who has got PTSD is suicidal, right? I'm sure you
Right,
know that.
correct. Yeah.
So
Oh
I
yeah,
think
no,
that would
absolutely.
probably be a
Yeah,
huge more
yeah,
audience too.
yeah. Well, psilocybin does decent on PTSD too. Just I feel like MDMA is a more specialized thing specifically for PTSD.
All right. So you're writing another book though.
Not right now, no.
Oh,
Still,
I thought I
no,
heard earlier that you were writing a Barbarian Spirit 2 or something. But maybe I'm just
no.
hallucinating.
I may get to that point, but yeah, no. Right now, it's kind of neutral on all the books because we're so focused on church development.
All right. All right, man. So we got Concrete Jungle, we got Prairie Fire, and we got Path to the Barbarian Spirit. Or is it just Barbarian
Yeah,
Spirit? The book.
just barbarian books,
Just
just
Barbarian
named
Spirit.
Barbarian Spirit. Yep,
Church is Path to the Barbarian Spirit.
correct. Yep,
All right. Where can
correct.
they find you, man?
We've got the website Path of Barbarian Spirit. Otherwise, I'm on Twitter, way off the res. Yeah, that's the places to link up these days.
That's Clay, man. That is Clay Martin. I appreciate you, brother, as always, sharing your time with me and the fucking 12 people who will want. No, I'm just kidding. Way more than 12 when you come on. It's great. All right. You can find him there. Like you said, get on Twitter, get at him at way off the res. That's Clay Martin. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, thank you for having me, brother.
All right, dude.